I looked at a number of studies that were coming out from a variety of fields, psychology, communications, business, sociology, just all sorts of things. And I noticed a general pattern emerging. And this is that young people, particularly millennials and generations following now, are unhooking from traditional ways of doing things, from social institutions. You could think of family, long-term career, the church, political parties, all these sorts of things that their parents or grandparents or great-grandparents would have done routinely. They're completely unhooking from these things. Let's just pick an era that we know, which is, let's say, the post-World War II era. Sociologists call that the golden age of the family. We know that all the servicemen came back and people got married and moved out to the suburbs, and they got their little house with the white picket fence, 2.5 kids and the dog and the car. And that was it. That was their American dream. And that's what they were striving for and going for and showing off their new family wagon that they had. And kids now, the majority of them are not living in their own families like that. They're not having a career that spans decades. They're maybe choosing not to have kids or not to get married or to marry multiple people. Reconfiguring the world in ways that were never dreamed of back then. The pathways to adulthood were fairly clearly delineated and kind of simple, if you will. Like my mother used to say, well, I had kids because that's what you do. See? So the mindset was that you do these things in this order. Well, now with the plethora of opportunities shown on, let's say, an Instagram, be it traveling the world or having all these partners or being a different gender, it's sort of deconstructing what it means to be an adult. So that's why I call it hacking the American dream. And using digital technologies to date, to meet, to have a career where you're free to move about by freelancing. Maybe you're using some of these platforms to do that. So it's just sort of reconfiguring what adulthood looks like, if you will, and good and bad. When you think about that from the business world perspective, what does that mean? Well, if you have, for example, a mortgage, 30-year mortgage on a house, you've got a spouse with a job nearby, you get your kid in school, that you've got roots in a community. You've put down roots and you're going to be there a while. But cut all those things off and church, all these things. You suddenly are untethered and you're just sort of floating free. And at this point, about half of millennials are freelancing. A lot of them going into this hashtag van life. Let's have an adventurous life, live in a van, go backpack through Europe, or go live in Bali for a while and work remotely. So it's really enabled, because of this disconnection, it's enabled a whole new plethora of ways of living, where you live, how you live, and all these new configurations to emerge. So that has a big impact, again, on the workforce and managing and what the perks are for young people. The whole situation changes when you suddenly rethink from the nuclear family model that we're so used to the untethered model, which has been ushered in by the digital era. Well, yeah, I always say coming untethered means coming unmoored. Well, again, that idea that young people have pulled up roots from traditional ways of living, buying a home where you're going to be there for 30 years with your 30-year mortgage, or getting married, or having kids, or being part of the church community. These are things that generations did routinely, and now young people are pulling up. And what we learned is from the earliest sociological studies that being woven into the social fabric also bolsters both physical and mental wellness, it turns out. And you can think about that, the support of the community, for example, that if something's wrong, you could ask a neighbor for help, or a family member, or a church member. You pull away from all these things. We haven't yet built the new social structures to take their place. Instagram doesn't really do it. we found. So that's the thing. We've quickly pulled away from the anchoring structures in society, but we haven't really built the new ones yet to take their place. So we're in this kind of liminal period where we're neither here nor there, and that's causing some of the emotional problems, mental health problems that we're seeing amongst young people. There are students now I've seen in the schools. There's a little sort of a backlash movement. Hey, let's set our phones aside and have a meal or a campfire or a discussion just for that period of time, or a hike, for example. There's a group called Brick. There's a group that's singing together for an hour or two, a big group of people singing. That's beautiful. And just, again, I'm not trying to throw our devices out, but I'm saying that we need to have a balance and remember our embodied self so that we're mentally healthy, physically healthy, and connected and in relationships. You know, this is how we're wired, and we sort of need to remember that again.